Hey guys, it's David from Horror Night Updaters here. I'm joined with Brian.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
So today we're going to be talking. Oh, I'm going to be. Yeah, I mean, totally lost for today.
Oh
Um,
no.
yeah, I was like, my mouth's doing more of the talking than like I can actually catch up. Um, Today we're going to be talking about a few of the announcements that have come in. Some really cool house announcements for Orlando. We've had some really cool Scare Zone reveals for Hollywood, as well as some exclusive events for Hollywood, and some special tickets for Hollywood. So this is going to be a very Hollywood centric podcast. So, Brian, we'll start with Orlando because there have been
Okay.
two really cool houses, and I'm kind of jealous. The first one is Depths of Fear. That takes place in an old underwater mining facility with these parasitical animals that attach to people, lay eggs, and they spray acid at you. And then we have Yeti Terror of the Yukon, which essentially is kind of like a sequel to was it Slaughter Cinema from last
Yeah, with
year.
the Swamp Yeti.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I like kind of jealous because I love anything Yeti lore, so that is really cool. So we'll get your thoughts on these two mazes, Brian, and because there's some interesting concepts. They're two different kind of maze ideas. So go ahead.
Well, let's see. I guess I'll start with the Yukon. As somebody who really liked the like you said, the little segment we had in Slaughter Cinema last year with the Swamp Yeti, or as apparently I sound when I say it, Swampy Eddie. That's what my friend, me and my friend, we went together to the event last year, and every according to him, every time that I say Swamp Yeti, it sounds like Swampy Eddie. So that's like his unofficial name that we have for like the Swamp Yeti, like Eddie. So when the announcement was made, I said, "Hey man, Eddie's cousin's like popping in for the maze this year." So we're really excited about that. Any chance to have like an air conditioned, cool maze in Orlando is always a plus. Like we did a couple of houses in the past with like air conditioning. We always pull those off really well to simulate those cold atmospheres. So that's always going to be fun. I'm really excited about like the Canada aspect and going into a different, kind of land of the Yeti. That's gonna be fun, and it'll be nice to see like Yetis that actually move around for once in Orlando. Compared to other things that we have around here. So that'll always be good too.
That was a really savage tweet that Orlando bounced back from a fan saying, "Oh, taking something from like Expedition Everest," and Orlando saying that, "Well, our Yeti actually moves." Oh, that's savage.
I loved that. That was great. I really appreciated that tweet.
It's great that they have such a great sense of humor. And when I read that, I showed it to a few of my colleagues at work, and they just started laughing. It was just so perfect. One of my colleagues goes to Orlando every year with her family, and she thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, the Yeti is a really cool idea, and I love the fact that because there was talk like way back when I think it was when La Llorona was big hype. They were talking about doing more of a cryptid kind of mazes, like Chupacabra and things
Oh
like that.
right.
So to have something like this at the event is really exciting because it kind of expands out of like IPs. We've got plenty of IPs to work off, but occasionally, obviously, it's fun to have something original and to work on something that is based on really, really cool cryptid lore. I think that's going to be really fun, and I'm super jealous you guys have got that because I would love something like that in Hollywood.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that'd be great to see.
but the really cool depths. Now, let's talk about really quickly the kind of I don't want to say controversy because this is just fans kind of like kind of going back and forth about Depths of Fear and the fact that they thought that he had ripped it off of Not Scary Farm's maze from last year. Now, I want to put this to bed because I went to Knott's last year and I did the Depths, and it's a fun maze. Um, but it's very different. They share a similar title, but they are very different. The debts did have mining, but it was like all like kind of 1920s, 40s kind of mining, and they had a kraken creature down below, a giant shark that came through, undead ghost pirates, and so it was a completely different idea. Whereas this is very Bioshock feeling, with kind of, like I said before, very acidic, parasitical animals that are attaching to the miners, and the mining facility is actually set to explode. So you got that. I don't know about you, Brian, but I get the feeling this is kind of like an interstellar terror underwater kind of feel.
That's what I thought. I thought something like that would be really cool to see. As far as like an underwater, like trapped environment kind of thing with like, attaching creatures. Well, it also kind of made me think of like, I mean, like on a much probably smaller scale, but like the creatures maze that we had that one year, where like, or even like with Slaughter Cinema again, we had like that little part in one of the sections that was kind of like a critters kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I imagine like something like that would be pretty cool to see in this underwater environment. And then with the miners, and like you hit the nail on the head. I'm hoping for some kind of like Bioshock reference, because I was always like a person who said like I'd love to see a Bioshock maze. So if they could like make this the original kind of like Bioshock maze, work in some references in there, but make it its own thing, I think would be really awesome to see. And an underwater, like anything, I think simulating a different environment is always cool to see. Like if you think about it, we've got a water environment and a snow kind of like weather environment for our like kind of house themes this year in Orlando.
Yeah, I've noticed that very cold kind of desolate environments, which is really cool. And I mean, even going into something like the IP, like Stranger Things, of the Upside Down is kind of a similar kind of vein to that, where it's
Yeah.
the cold, dark, not very pleasant environment. Um, so so it's interesting, kind of the choices they're making for the mazes and houses for both parks, and especially Orlando this year. I mean, they're really bringing it out of the box and doing some really cool little tricks. I mean, don't like I said, going back to like the Not Scary Farm debts. It was really fun, but like with something like with Hollywood, not Hollywood, sorry, Orlando's budget and their creative team, I would love to see something what they can do with this underwater environment. Um, so yeah, those two houses sound like they're going to be a blast. So I'm super jealous.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah, I'm loving the original property like aspects that we've got so far going on. So yeah, I'm satisfied so far, and I'm excited to see, like you said, all these different environments. So bring it on.
I'm really interested, and hopefully you can get some footage of this, or at least a picture of them. I would love to see the facades for these mazes. They sound really cool.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I'm hoping to get whatever footage I can of that. That's kind of what it is in Orlando. You just got to like pull out your camera and just kind of keep pointing it until somebody yells at you, and
yeah,
then just get all that you can get. And but normally, because it's either a wash with Orlando, sometimes you'll have a facade, and then sometimes it'll be like, what was that one year with Roanoke, where it was just like projection on the side of the parade building. So whatever kind of footage I get, I'm excited to get whatever I can usually get with our facades. But yeah, anything like this would be definitely interesting with all of our environments.
Um, so moving on to the Hollywood side of things, we have a reveal on a lot of the scare zones for the event, which is really cool because this early we usually get one or two, and John and Chris usually reveal one, at least one at Midsummer Scream, which is a convention coming up in August, where we get a lot of good reveals for it. I think one of the big ones is some of the ones that have gotten a lot of people's attention is Spirits and Demons of the East, where I'll read the description. Sacred antiquities have just been shipped over from the Far East, and they didn't come alone. Many of these artifacts were stolen from ancient temples and carry angry spirits with them. Now, the spirits roam New York Street, which, for those who don't know, is near the front of the park, um, looking to exact vengeance on anyone who would dare steal such sacred relics. Be careful out there. These powerful demons can look like anything, even innocent school children. So we may get a version of Cindy walking around, which
Hey, there you go.
which will be pretty funny. So that one's a really interesting one. The other one, uh, that has a lot of people interested is All Hallows Evil. Halloween isn't the only holiday that happens this time of year. The Celtic festival of Hoptumna, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is celebrated on October 31st as well. There's also All Saints Day, followed by All Souls Day, and of course Mexico's Dia de Muertos, all of which share the season with the centuries-old Gaelic festival Samhain. Samhain celebrates our transition into the darker months at the end of the harvest season. The souls of the dead are thought to return home on this night and are welcomed with costumes and bonfires. Some say the costumes were actually intended to protect oneself from the otherworldly beings. He is hoping you're relatively peaceful during the visit. So some of the pictures that they've had for these two are really interesting. Some ornate kind of masks for the Spirits of the East one, and All Hallows Evil. I'm a sucker for anything kind of, like old Halloween tradition, which is why I love Trick or Treat. So.
Oh yeah, exactly.
The other one, there's two more. We've got Fallen Angels. Explored crypts packed with restless ghouls and escaped angry skeletons that have taken over Main Street. This, again, Main Street is at the very beginning of the park, so as you enter, if you think the aged statues are creepy, wait until you encounter the Wraith, who will be literally watching over you, which basically means they're still walking. That's their version of the Still Walker. You can also spread your own demonic wings while you're here, but be sure not to antagonize the Angel of Death. And lastly, we have Christmas in Hell. You'll feel exactly a faint sense of relief as you exit the Holidays in Hell maze. Now, for those who don't know, last year, Universal, for the Universal Monsters, attached the Monsters Masquerade Scare Zone to the end of Universal Monsters. And that was a lot of fun. And so in this case, it's going to be Dark Christmas on steroids, essentially, and you make your way through a twisted takes on many holiday traditions. A giant nutcracker may be looking for a skull to clamp down on. The Winter Witch and Jack Frost himself will be celebrating as well. They may not take too kindly to you interrupting the festivities. And just when you think it's over, beware the New Year's baby. He's cranky.
Oh, no.
I know, the baby's cranky.
Oh, jeez.
So some interesting takes on some of these scare zones. The costumes look pretty cool. I'm looking forward to Christmas in Hell only because I really enjoyed Dark Christmas the past few years that they've done it. I have to say my top ones are probably All Hallows Evil, Christmas in Hell, and Spirits of the Demons of the East. So how did those sound to you, Brian? Like, what do you think?
I think that sounds like a great lineup so far. Like, considering we don't have any scare zones announced here in Orlando, I think like that's a pretty solid lineup for Hollywood, especially because it kind of like has a little bit of like theming if you think about it, because it's like celebration kind of things, because it's like spirits and demons, and then like holidays, and then the Halloween aspect. It's all kind of like celebrating in the streets, like in different aspects. I think that's, I don't know if that's what they're going for, but it's kind of a neat little tie-in. And the whole, I can't wait to see all the different aspects, and I can't wait to see what the holidays or Christmas in Hell would be kind of compared to previous incarnations that they've done with the similar kind of scare zone. So that'll be fun to see. But yeah, I'm excited to see any kind of footage or videos. It'll definitely be interesting to see what they pull off this year.
Well, I'll definitely be taking plenty of footage of the scare zones this year, because I'll be going multiple nights. I will be actually getting the frequent fear pass, so I'll be going as many nights as I can, which is brilliant.
Nice.
Because we'll be able to get more footage to show you guys at HNU. So let's move on to the Hollywood tickets. So tickets finally, I have to reiterate, some of the tickets got released for Halloween Horror Nights 2019 for Hollywood, including a fan event, which is really cool. And essentially, it's like a employee preview night, except for certain fans. That it's a ticketed event. The description has access to all the new Halloween Horror Nights mazes, scare zones, and attractions, exclusive themed photo ops with scare actors, which sounds awesome, DJ music, performance, a commemorative fan preview night credential, and new specially themed food, drinks, and merchandise available for purchase. So that sounds like a fan's dream come true. I am personally depressed because I will not be there until October 13th, which is obviously way over. So I'm really sad I won't get to attend this event. I'm hoping that one of our colleagues will be able to attend it to show you guys what the fan event and some of the merchandise will be. Um, so yeah, I mean, if if all goes well, I think if that's successful, Orlando might see it in the future.
I think that'd be great if like, we did something like that here. I know our first night is our unofficial night is for employee preview, and they want to get all the kinks out, which I guess is a good thing. It's like, okay, let's guinea pig all these mazes before we start everything going there. But yeah, I was actually just looking at, speaking of tickets, I was looking at the page right here while you were talking about it, and considering that the fan preview event's only $69
That's
compared
really
to compared to a normal, like, just a general admission is 67 like to 77. I think that's a bargain considering it's like a special event, one night only thing. I mean, I'm thinking here in like Disney World, if like Disney was going to do something like that, it'd be like 120 or something in that range,
yeah.
just for like it's a special event, one night thing. So I think that's awesome, and anybody who gets to like do that with all the perks and everything, and I'm sure they're going to do some kind of you know special ceremony or something, some kind of thing. I think it'd be pretty cool to see. So, I mean, that's definitely a great idea. So hopefully in the future, it'll branch out to more kind of opportunities like that.
Yeah, I was very. This actually took me by surprise because I didn't see this coming. A lot of fans were very pleasantly surprised by this. I think this is brilliant to kind of celebrate. This is a fantastic idea to help celebrate the fans that make the event so awesome. So basically, everyone that's been to Horror Nights, whether it's been a couple of years or like myself, where it's been like 14 years, it's celebrating the entire fandom, and I'm really happy that they're going out of the way to do this. And like you said, $69 is very good for something like this, and it's not like they're cutting content either. So it's not like you're getting part of Horror Nights. You're getting the full shebang. You're getting all the mazes, and you're getting exclusive stuff as well. So that is an amazing kind of tip of the hat to all the fans that have made this event so amazing. So I'm really excited to see more about this fan event as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Lastly, we've got some information on ticket prices. So in general, a lot of the tickets have been revealed for September primarily, but not October. I repeat, October has not been officially open for ticket sales yet. However, you can buy the passes, which are the Ultimate Pass at $299, which you get all 32 nights of Horror Nights with no blackout days. Which, if you're really wanting to like do all of September, all of October, this is the pass for you. And to be honest, if you calculate how much money you're spending, that is actually a really good price for it. That I have to say. And then there's what I'm getting, which is the Frequent Fear Pass, which is $179, and you get 25 nights, which is still very good, I think, personally.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's basically the information in regarding to ticket prices, and really there's not a lot of information coming down now. I will state this: me and Brian have been talking with Amy and Neil. A lot of there's been a lot of leaks just recently that have been spread, and we really here at HNU we don't want to promote that. So a lot of the pictures you guys are probably seeing in different sites, we won't be posting on here. One such thing is the picture that someone took illegally by taking a picture of the front of the maze facade of the one near the Mummy Queue.
Oh.
Yeah, someone apparently had gotten behind the kind of cutoff area where the public is not supposed to go, and they took a picture on the front. Now, if you're taking pictures from the starway, sorry, that's fine. I mean, that's in public view. However, we don't condone what this person did because it was illegal. They jumped in front and they were taking pictures of the facade in the front. It's not great. It kind of ruins the feeling as well if you know kind of what it is. Saying that though, if you're seeing it from the Starway, it is kind of obvious a little bit what they're trying to plan. But you know what? We could be pleasantly surprised. We don't want to assume, but when someone does this, we at HNU don't condone this action. It was like, I don't know if you heard, Brian. It was like a few years. Oh, it was quite a few years back in 2010. I want to say where someone broke into the Kill Jason Kill maze, the one that was based off the remake of Friday
What?
the 13th. Yeah, they hopped the fence and they actually went in. And if I'm remembering correctly, now this is only if I'm remembering correctly, John has a great story behind this. Apparently, he caught the person and he scared the living crap out of them.
Yes.
I don't know if it was a boo hole or he was just jumping out of a doorway, but he scared the pants off this person. So there's a little bit of Justice Karma with a great story.
Nice. There you go. Don't mess with my house.
Yeah, please do not try to jump the fences at Horror Nights because John Murdy may scare the living crap out of you and you will get banned.
You never know what's on the other side of that fence. You don't want to take the chance. Come on.
But it's just something we had to mention because it's been getting attraction around. You've seen it on Instagram. It's on a lot of Facebook sites. So yeah, if you're getting pictures of the mummy queue from the Starway, that's fine. That's completely fine. But yeah, to kind of do it illegally and go behind in the construction areas, yeah, that's a big no here. And it kind of it ruins what they're trying to create behind the scenes, and it just kind of ruins the fun of just speculating what they're working on.
It does. You want to if anything, you want to talk about it and speculate like when everything's official and kind of in the know. You don't want to have it spoiled ahead of time, and then when the big time comes, you're like, oh yeah, well, there's that thing that I heard about, a while back. It's you want to build it up and build the excitement. I know with me, I like to see the facades like in person when I finally get there for the first time. You finally hear about it and you're like, okay, finally get to see what all this is about. So it's more exciting to see it that way, in my opinion.
I do want to iterate though that let's say you're on the tram tour and the maze is there, it's on construction. That's fine. Taking pictures of the mazes while they're being constructed, while you're on tram tour, which a lot of people I follow do, which is people like HHM Fanboy and they all do it through the tram tour, which is fine. That's completely fine because it's in public view. But when you're hopping fences, that's when I have an issue with it, and that's why here at HNU we won't be posting pictures of that particular one. I have to admit I can't remember the name of the person, what his kind of name tag was, but yeah, we won't be posting it on the HNU website. Once the official announcement gets for it, then we'll be posting pictures of when construction is going up and all that good stuff. So hopefully a lot of, and by the looks of it, Brian, like a lot of construction, probably the same in Orlando. They're really speeding on with construction with the houses and mazes at the moment.
Oh yeah, well, that's what I've seen for the Hollywood side. Orlando's, I guess, a little different because most of our stuff's interior, like unless they're built. But even the stuff that would have a facade is kind of like backstage. So a lot of it we don't really see. I mean, other than like the MIB tent, we see that, and then but a lot of like the sound stages and like even the Shrek building, like we don't know what's going on in there. So I'm sure everything's going along great, but a lot of it, yeah, we don't really see up until like when the scare zones like finally start popping up. That's when we start really seeing like progress and like, oh, it's coming, But Hollywood, yeah, it looks great from what I, like you said, the things we've been seeing, like the Star Walk and all that kind of stuff, and all the footage there looks really good. So
the you can see from the Star Walk. I don't know if they've covered this now. We can kind of speculate killer clowns because you can see from the Starway there's it looks like a circus tent, which is really cool. So whether it is killer clowns, it looks like the alien spaceship, the clowns.
Oh yes, a very familiar looking one.
But whether it's that or it's something completely new, because John has worked on quite a few new stuff recently. It's going to be it's exciting to see what it is in the end result. If it is Killer Clowns, I'm very excited if it is. But
I think that'd be hilarious if it was like an original concept and he's just trying to throw everybody off. And then all I can think of is that line from Ghostbusters 2 where, like, you'd have fans running in the first day that the event's open, like during the fan preview or whatever, and they turn the corner and they see the supposed circus tent and it's something completely different. I just imagine somebody going, "Oh, I thought it was going to be Killer Clowns." You know? Like, I can just see that happening. But if it is Killer Clowns, hey, no one would be more excited than me to like actually have that there. I would love it. I love everything about it. I would probably be House of the Year, and that's saying a lot, but regardless of what it is, I'm very excited to see what it turns out being. But we'll just have to wait, until we get further announcements down the road. It's not too much longer. We're almost towards the end of July, so
I'm pretty sure we'll get some major announcements at Midsummer Scream. So whatever that maze is or something else, definitely will be reserved, I think, for that panel. I know Amy will be attending that, so we're looking forward to seeing the footage she takes of it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the maze concepts that are coming along are really cool. For at least I can talk from Hollywood's perspective, I am really excited for Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. That is a maze that is really cool because I grew up with those watching those films when I was a kid, which is why I loved the Universal Monsters maze. It was a great little tip of the hat and love letter to those films. John and Chris did an amazing job bringing those to life, and now they're one-upping it with Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. I am just over the moon. I can't wait for this event. I have to say, there's not many times where I'm this early on in the year. I mean, I'm excited for Horror Nights no matter what.
You're excited 24/7.
I go to work every day, and my colleagues are sick of seeing my Horror Nights landing. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like the mazes they've announced for it have been really cool. Even Holidays in Hell, which I didn't see coming, that is a really cool idea, and I'm really excited to see how they bring this to life. So this year, I have to say, 2019 is looking to be a lot of fun.
I think it's going to be really exciting, especially the Hollywood, like you said, with the Frankenstein versus werewolf. I think that would be like a really cool concept because it makes me think of like Freddy versus Jason or like Alien versus Predator. Like, that like they might do it that way where like maybe, I know Hollywood especially likes to do those things where it's like you're in it, like you're in between this thing. So like I don't know if they're going to do another aspect of that. I think would be really cool. Like you're in the battle or whatever, like they usually do. That might be really interesting.
I agree, and I think it's one of the big things is like it opens up possibilities for versus mazes where, especially using the Universal IPs, so you can kind of internally kind of mess around with the Universal monsters a little bit and kind of have different scenario mazes, which is really cool. So there's a lot of possibility with those. So
it helps. Oh, I was saying it really helps that like to keep the series fresh. As far as like because for a while, especially Hollywood, I think has had a couple like Universal monster mazes, and so is Orlando. But that's a nice way to like keep everything fresh instead of just like here's more Universal monsters best of, kind of like how Walking Dead got stale, you know, and then but like this keeps it fresh. So I really like that take.
Yeah, I agree, and I know there was a lot of fans, me included, that wanted a sequel maze to Universal Monsters. Not in this degree. Like, we didn't see this one coming. This was like a complete
left field.
It was really cool that that they brought in Frankenstein meets the Wolfman because everyone thought it was going to be like a sequel maze to Universal Monsters. So like with more monsters like the Gillman and that they got cut eventually, which sucks. But it leaves it possibilities for future mazes, and I'm actually curious to see your version of Universal Monsters. What is different and what is added? Whether you have more monsters than what we had. So I can't wait to hear what that one's like, and I can't wait for the possibility of the future for these specific IPs as well.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Universal monsters to come back to Orlando again because it's been a while. And I really, considering I think it's isn't it the exact same art that you guys had in Hollywood last year as like for our kind of like art this year for our
Yeah,
Universal Monsters maze. So I don't know if maybe it's going to be like Universal's or well, Universal Orlando's like actual take on Hollywood's maze. Since it's like the same style. Maybe if it's like here's our interpretation of what you guys did last year, I think that would be pretty cool. But whatever it is, yeah, I'm excited. It's always good to have them back. That's kind of like the unofficial icons. I know they're not icons, but like that's like Universal's icons. So it's great to have them back.
yeah. I'm curious to see what we get in the next few weeks. John has said that we will probably get another announcement probably at the end of July, maybe beginning of August when we have Midsummer Scream. So I would say the possibility for our next announcement, for at least Hollywood side, will not appear until the Midsummer Scream panel. So I'm curious to see what that's going to be. I'm very excited. And yeah, any final notes, Brian?
No, I think we kind of covered everything, all the bases. I'm just stoked for, yeah, like you said, all the upcoming announcements because you figured they got to start coming rapid down the pike. Get ready, everybody get excited, get those tickets ready for Horror Nights because it's coming. So I think I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the future. The 10 announcement of the mazes for Hollywood really threw me off. I'm really like stoked, like because I thought it's like okay, the usual 8, and it's like okay, you guys are well, we'll wrap up with the 5, and then we'll all be done. But they threw us a curveball, and
Yeah.
now there's even more to wait and see what they bring for us. So anyway,
10,
I'm excited. I'm excited.
10 mazes for Hollywood. I mean, it's unprecedented. The the fact that we're getting 10 is really exciting for me, which means there's more to do in the evening. There's more mazes to hit. Um, Granted, one of those is technically, I would think it would be counted as the Walking Dead is still counted as one maze.
Right.
Technically, if you want to be very specific, it's probably 9 mazes that's not including the Walking Dead. So, but that is still amazing, and it's really exciting, and I can't wait to see where each of these new mazes are going to be located. I have a feeling a lot of it's going to be on the back lot. I know there's been a couple pictures of construction in the back lot, so it's just very exciting to see what we're going to get in Hollywood. I think this year is definitely going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, I mean, that is pretty much the wrap up on a lot of the information. I did rant a little bit about the the leak there, so I do apologize about that, guys. But yeah, it's just something we don't really like, and it kind of ruins. I guess it ruins the day of people that work at Horror Nights because they see this and all their work is getting leaked online. So this is why we don't really like that. But I have a feeling 2019 is going to make a lot of people happy, and I can't wait to see what the maze announcements we'll get in the next few weeks or month. And for more information, keep track on our HNU Facebook page. We'll be posting there as soon as new information gets posted. I literally will get off work and just try and post if something new has come off. Um, but Brian will be posting mostly for the Orlando one. I'll be posting mainly for Hollywood. Until the next time, guys, this is David and Brian signing off.
Hey, take care, guys.